Jimin, I love you. He whispered. It caught Taeyang off guard. He leaned back a little and pecked on Taeyang's cheeks before he tried to run away, but Taeyang was holding him while he was still in shock. Taeyang, what, what did you say? He asked. His voice was barely above whisper. His eyes were still widened. Jimin, I didn't say anything. He said as he pushed Young a little and ran. As Young was in shock, he didn't realize when Jimin got out of his grip. He looked around to find Jimin, who was running away from him. He tried to skate, but after some time, when he was about to fall, Jimin noticed and ran back to Taeyang, holding him from back so he won't fall down. Taeyang held Jimin's hand, which were on his shoulders, and turned around, pulling Jimin closer to him. Taeyang, come on, tell me what did you said. Jimin, I didn't say anything. Taeyang brought Jimin even closer. Their bodies were totally glued with each other, and their faces were just few centimeters away. Taeyang, are you going to tell me, or do you want me to kiss you? Jimin, but I haven't given my permission yet. Taeyang, I don't care about it anymore. Jimin kept his hand in front of his lips, causing Taeyang to chuckle. Taeyang, just say it, and I will leave you. Jimin, you won't leave me. Instead, you will hold me even tighter. Taeyang, well, that's true, but I might leave you too, he said as he got even closer. His lips were now touching Jimin's hand. Taeyang, come on, tell me before I remove this hand. Jimin, I won't. Taeyang, are you sure? He said, holding Jimin's hand. Jimin, okay, I said I love you. He said again, this time looking down, and hugged Taeyang in order to hide his face, which was totally red. Taeyang, wow, I didn't knew it will feel so nice to hear that, he said as he chuckled and hugged Jimin back. He kissed on Jimin's head as Jimin was hiding his face in Taeyang's neck. Taeyang, love you more, he said, piercing Jimin's ears. Taeyang, shall we head home or do you want to play more? Jimin, let's go. Taeyang, oh, is my bad boy shy now? He said as he backed off from hug. Jimin hit his chest as Taeyang hugged him again while chuckling. Jimin also giggled in his embrace. After some time, both of them left to their homes after having dinner at a restaurant. At home, Jimin, I'm going to shower. Yeah. Wait, let me join too. Jimin, nah, I can shower alone, he said as he ran towards the washroom, locking the door before Taeyang could catch him. Taeyang chuckled, seeing him as he went towards the closet and took out pajamas for himself. After about 10 minutes, Jimmy came out. His hairs were soaked in water. Taeyang, you didn't dry your hairs? Jimmy, the dryer isn't in washroom. Where did you keep it? Taeyang, here. I brought it outside today morning, he said, taking the dryer from the nightstand and giving it to Jimin. Yeah, wait, let me try it for you, he said as he took the dryer again and made Jimin sit on the bed. He plugged the wire and started the dryer. After some time, when Jimin was done, he asked Taeyang to stop and told him to take shower. Taeyang, I don't want to be your hair. They're so soft, he said, still playing with Jimin's hairs. Hands. Why are your hairs so soft? Just go and take shower, he said as he removed Taeyang's hand and stood up. Taeyang just made an angry pause before leaving to the washroom. Jimin went towards his study table and started studying. After some time, Taeyang also came out of the washroom as he found Jimin studying. He went towards him and wrapped his hands around Jimin's neck from back, kissed him on his cheeks. Jimin, yeah, you are distracting me. Yeah, just concentrate on your studies. Be here. Jimin, how can I concentrate when you will do this? Yeah, just do. I will just hug you and won't do anything. Jimin, alright. He said and he started studying. After about 5 minutes, Jimin closed the books and looked towards Taeyang, who was still hugging him from behind. Taeyang, are you done? This soon? Jimin, yes. He said as he stood up and Taeyang still didn't remove his hand from Jimin's neck. Jimin, I'm sleepy. He said as he hugged Taeyang and wrapped his legs around Taeyang's waist. Taeyang, let's sit then, he said as he closed the light and went towards the bed. He lied on the bed beside Jimin and covered themselves. Taeyang, yeah, wait. Jimin, what is it? Taeyang, our shorts. Jimin, what? Taeyang, we haven't removed it yet. Are you going to sleep with your shirt? Jimin, oh, yes. I forgot. He said as Taeyang removed Jimin's shirt and his own. He again hugged Jimin and Jimin snuggled into his chest. It was first time when Jimin was sleeping like this in the night and not in the morning, because it would be mostly in the morning when Jimin would be sleeping like this, hugging Taeyang. At night he would be facing the other side while Taeyang will hug him from back. For some minutes there was total silence. When Jimin looked up, Taeyang, what happened? Can't you sleep? Jimin, actually, Taeyang, what happened? Say it clearly. Jimin, I can't say it. Taeyang, yeah, tell me. What's wrong? Is every He couldn't speak ahead as Jimin connected their lips together. Taeyang was again taken aback, maybe for the 10th time that day. Jimin begged Taeyang's lips when Taeyang didn't respond to the kiss, bringing Taeyang back to sense. Taeyang kissed him back, causing Jimin to smile. After a long and passionate kiss, both of them broke it. Jimin, I have university tomorrow, I'm sleepy, he said again, hiding his face in Taeyang's chest. Taeyang chuckled as he held Jimin's face and looked into his eyes. Taeyang, so I got the permission? Jimin, yes. He nodded slowly and again hugged Taeyang. Taeyang hugged him back and both of them drifted to sleep. Night fell as the day came. Jimin opened his eyes as he found Taeyang in front of him. Jimin, I won't have to hide it anymore. It's nice, he said to himself before pecking on Taeyang's lips. Taeyang, I want a long one. Jimin, wow, you really have a light sleep, isn't it? Yeah. Well, if you do that, then I will wake up. I can't miss that precious moment, he said as he kissed Jimin again. After some time, both of them broke it and went to do their routine. It was going to be a different day, not a day where they would fight with each other. The whole day was filled with cute and little moments of Taeyang and Jimin. Jimin was smiling all the time when it was Taeyang's class. Passed like that as the other day arrived. Jimin had first class with Taeyang, so he was excited. He ran towards their class, leaving Felix behind as he went and sat on the first bench. Soon, Felix also came inside and sat beside Jimin. Felix, yeah, he's not even here and you are leaving me alone already? Jimin, well, I'm excited. Alexia, why won't you be? He said, making a disgusted face. Jimin and Felix were chatting when a girl came towards their desk and called Jimin. The girl, Jimin, Park and said, did you? He asked suddenly as Jimin looked towards her. He raised up. She spoke again. The girl, my name is Lily. Actually, the seats are full, so can I sit here? Jimin looked behind and saw many seats were empty in the back seat. Jimin, are you blind? Can't you see there are so many seats behind? Lily, I have bad eyesight, so I just wanted to sit in the first bench. But the first bench is totally occupied. So can I sit there with you? Only this bench is empty. Since only you both are sitting here. She was hesitating before saying, Jimmy, you should wear glasses then. Really, I forgot them. Can I sit here, please? She said as Felix noticed Young came. Felix, just let him sit. Professor is here already. Jimmy already looked towards Young, who was already looking towards him with a frown. The students stood up as they greeted Young. Lily, can I sit? Jimin just to he said, not even looking at her. Lily was sitting so close to Jimin, but Jimin didn't even notice it. His whole focus was on him and his lecture. Lily was having her time sitting so close to Jimin that their body was almost touching. It didn't go unnoticed by him. Before the class ended, Lily was totally clinging to Jimin. When all the students left, Taeyang came to Jimin as he asked him who she was. Jimin just shrugged and said he didn't know. He was following Jimin around everywhere Jimin went. Surprisingly, she was in all the class Jimin had, and she was sitting with Jimin the whole day. She tried to talk to Jimin a lot of time, but Jimin just ignored her. The day passed as it was end of the last class. Jimin went out of the class when again followed him. Just then Thiang passed them as Jimin noticed his gaze towards Lily. An idea popped on his head as he thought of making Thiang jealous. Well, no doubt there are many girls who are crazy for him because they like his bad attitude. Jimmy, why do you keep following me everywhere? Lily, I'm not following. It's just I have all the same classes as you. Jimmy, but I never saw you in my class. Lily, I was always in my class, but you never noticed. Jimmy, oh, is that so? Lily, yes. I wanted to be a friend. Can we be friends? She said as she extended her hand. Women looked around as he found him, who just turned around to look at them before going towards the stairs. Women smiled mentally as he held Lily's hand and shook it. This time Priyank was totally burning in jealousy, but he had some work, so he left. Jimmy, alright, let's be friends. He said as he looked towards Lily. Lily, really? Jimin, do I have to wait myself? Lily, no, thank you so much. I never expected that you will agree to it. That's right, Jimin, but I did. Yes, you did. Thank you so much. Days passed as Lily was a clingy girl. She always was clinging towards Jimin, and Taeyang hated it. But whenever he asked Jimin who she was, he always said that she was his friend and that she wanted to be his friend. So he agreed. Their first mock test was going to help soon. So Jimin was also focused on his studies. He wanted to show them that he can bring first place this time. And not only him, to the chairman too. Really, I see all of you are always studying. Jimin and Lily were sitting in library. Lily just came when she saw Jimin was studying there. Wasn't able to hear what she said because he was very much concentrated in his studies. Lily shook him a little as she said again, Lily, you are so much concentrated. What is it? I really never saw you studying. It's hard. Jimin, I had some problems. Someone provoked me, so I have to get my first place back. Lily, oh, you were also a topper? Jimmy, well, I left that place some times ago, but I guess I have to take it again. So I'm just in process of doing that. Really, wow, that's nice. Can you help me with some studies too? She said as Jimin was about to deny when he saw Hyung enter inside the library. Jimin, sure, he said as started explaining it to her. He pretended as he then saw Hyung, but Hyung's gaze were only on Jimin. He was burning inside. If he could have just held Jimin and dragged him out of there and told Lily that he was already taken. He had noticed how clingy she has been in past days, and he definitely didn't like it. While Jimin was explaining her, Lily was taking glances from Jimin, and Karen was about to go when the bell rang. Jimin, let's continue that later. I have class now. I have to, let's go together. She said as she closed the books and Jimin did the same. He looked at him and pretended as he hadn't seen him earlier. Jimin, Lily, you should go first. I'll be there soon. He said as we went towards him. Jimin, what are you doing here, Mr. Professor? Jimin said as he made innocent eyes. Here, shall I ask what you were doing here? Jimin, I was studying. Here, and that is studying? You were just explaining her, isn't it? Jimin, she asked for help, so I was just helping her. Here, is it necessary to help her? Jimin, I was just helping. Why are you getting angry? Thiang, yes, you were just helping. Can't you see how she acts towards you? Jimin, what do you mean? He said, but before Thiang could speak, Felix asked Jimin to come because they were getting late for their class. Jimin, I shall go. He said as he ran and smiled when he looked back and Thiang was totally burning. Jimin could feel how much jealous he was. Before entering inside the class, Jimin texted Theang, who just went outside of the library, took out his phone and saw the text. Jimin, don't worry, Mr. Professor, I'm only yours. Theang smiled as he kept back his phone. Theang, this boy. He shook his head before going towards the cabin. Time skipped after the mock test. Jimin had already secured his first place. He was so happy that he couldn't even wait to tell Theang. He ran towards Theang's cabin as soon as he got his report card. But Lily met him in the way. Lily, oh, where are you going? I heard you got the first place. Congratulations. Jimin, thank you, but I have to go. Bye. He said, running towards Theang's office again. Lily, what's with him now? Why is he so much in hurry? She said, but got distracted when her friend called her. Jimin went inside Theang's office without even knocking. Theang, you should know how to knock. He said without looking at the person. Jimin, oh, I should have knocked, isn't it? He said in a cute voice when Theang noticed him. Theang, oh, it's you? Well, you don't have to knock. That's for others. He said as he got up from his seat and went towards Jimin, who was still standing near the door. He pinned Jimin to the door and closed the door before locking it. Jimin, I got the first place. I proved myself. Yeah, I know that. But where did your 10 marks went? Jimin, what do you mean? I just secured the first place and you are saying my 10 marks went? That's only 10 marks. Sam, you could have gotten them too if you wouldn't have been so much rejected by that lip. Taeyang said as he couldn't control himself anymore. He had enough of Lily and Jimmy. She was being too much, and Jimmy didn't say anything, which was making Taeyang even more angry. Taeyang, why would you do that? He said as he raised his voice a little. Jimmy, I don't know anything. He spoke this time, getting scared.